getting over some sort of cold. It sucks. With many of you going back to school, some of you going to college for the very first time this month, I thought as a recent college grad, I would sit down and talk to you about some of the things I wish I had known when I was a college freshman. So the very first thing on my list is that good professors are way more important than perfect schedules. If you have an amazing professor and the only time that they're teaching is a time of day that isn't really the most convenient, take that class. Having that professor is going to be way more important than being able to leave class or leave campus early on a Friday or something like that. You're not necessarily going to change your major 100 times in college. I know everyone says this and they're like, oh, don't worry if you don't know what you want to do. You can change your major all the time. But that doesn't mean that if you know what you want to do, that you should feel bad about that, and you should feel bad telling people, no, this is what I want to do. I'm not going to change my major, because you may be right. Now, if high school wasn't very great for you for whatever reason, you may be looking for a fresh start in college. That was how I was, and I wish I had known that more people were like me. There were so many people that I knew, I was in classes with, I was living with, that also just wanted a fresh start. And when you think about it from that perspective, you realize that you're all in this together. You all want something new, and you shouldn't be afraid to be that 100% true you. Now, this next thing I wish I knew is kind of more of a life tip, but it definitely relates to college. If you are having roommate problems or group project problems, whatever it is, and you need to have a tough discussion with someone, go into that discussion expecting the best from that person. Don't go into it worrying about everything that could possibly go wrong and think that they're gonna completely blow up and blame everything on you, because more often than not, they're probably gonna surprise you, and more often than not, they're gonna be understanding and not wanna fight with you either. A lot of colleges don't give you the option on this one, but I would highly recommend living in the dorms for your first year. It's gonna force you to meet so many new people, and you're gonna keep those connections throughout the 4 years that you're at your university, and those connections are very important and very useful. Now, any professor that might be watching this video is not gonna be happy with my next tip, but that would be wait to buy your books until the first day of class. Now, I say that because when I took a lot of those really big lecture hall classes where you're required to buy the book, I rarely opened that book. You're probably gonna know after a couple of these classes when you're gonna actually need to buy that book and do the reading, and when you can just say, maybe I don't need it. And if you can save $90 on a textbook that you're not gonna read and open, do. Inevitably, you're gonna have some professors that are super old school, just super hard-nosed, they're a pain in the butt, and they just drive you up the wall. I would encourage you to keep an open mind and give that professor a second chance. I definitely had some professors that early in the year, I just could not stand them. And by the end of the year, I realized that they were actually really great people, and I just needed to get to know them a little bit better. I also had professors that were just not great at teaching intro-level classes. You know, those classes where there's hundreds of people in the room. When you took them in an upper division class and their class size was much smaller, they were way better at what they did because they were better at interacting with that small group of people. All right, this tip is a great one. Most informational club meetings have free food. Go to those informational club meetings and get your free pizza and then never show up again. And finally, don't bother engaging in your school's plaza drama. Now, at my school, the drama was always that there was someone in the middle of the plaza yelling and screaming at the kids walking by, telling them that they were all going to hell. And inevitably, some cocky student would walk in and start arguing with the person. Don't be that person. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that you can't sit on the sidelines and enjoy the show. Well, guys, I know this is completely off from my normal type of content since I generally do gaming related stuff, but like I said, as someone who just graduated from college, I felt like I had some knowledge to offer on this, and I remember how nervous I was going to college, and I just wanted some advice from people that had gone through it. So hopefully this video helped some of you out. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all you lovely Martians next time. Bye-bye!